Aloha from Kilipohe, Keikani Aloha. I see a lot of questions on banana plants in Facebook, and so I thought I'd do this informational video on how to take care of your bananas and sort of what a banana plant is. So first of all, bananas are not trees. The part of the actual plant is, down there underground. And the part that you see here, these are just the leaves. So this isn't a tree. It's called a pseudostem. And so that's all it's a plant. It's not a tree. So this banana plant is getting a little overgrown. You can see there's quite a few Cakeys coming up here. This is a medium-sized one. This is a bit larger one here. On this other side, there's 1, 2, 3 Cakeys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Cakey out. I'm going to take this Cakey out. I'm going to take that Cakey out. And the reason I do that is so that it will focus its energy into producing bananas, which this is our latest rack of bananas. Now this plant is actually a little overgrown. There are 2 banana producing stalks. This one you can see right there. There's the next flower coming up. That is not ideal to have 1, 2 banana producing stalks on one plant, but it's what I did, so I'm kind of going with it. So I'm gonna let this one go, this Cakey go, and I'm gonna let this Cakey go, although I don't know. Actually, I might pull this one and leave one of these smaller ones, like this one here. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So I'm gonna pull this Cakey, and that Cakey. And another thing you notice about this little patch, we got some callo that I just kind of thrown in here to take up space. The patch, the bananas that are in here are sort of way off to this one side, and that's on purpose. We have banana producing stalks on this side, and we've been slowly trimming them to kind of move it here, because we want this, I want this path wider. And I don't know if I'll keep this callo going or not. We'll see what happens with that in the future. But you can steer the path of the bananas just by how you trim them. So this one Cakey, when it produces fruit, I'll move this border out here a little bit, and I'll mulch this up. And the plant will grow in that direction, because we'll discourage it from growing in this direction. So you can steer them around however you want to do it. So let's talk a little bit about what kind of tools you need to manage bananas. I use 2 tools. The first tool is a shovel like this, a nice short handle, long blade, narrow long blade shovel. This one's made by Ames, tempered blade. I don't know, I think I got it on Amazon. I think it was about 40 bucks. So that's the first thing you need. And the reason you need this is so that you can get right next to the Cakey and pull them out from the corm, which is the actual plant in the ground. So what I'll do is I'll put this in the ground right next to the Cakey, drive down all the way around it, and then I'll be able to pull it out easily. All right, here we go. So that actually cut it off from the parent plant down underneath the ground. I can feel it cutting a few roots, but there we go. That's a Cakey. Now, that plant, you can put that in the ground. It's got good roots. All these roots are really, oh, that's from the mother. All these roots are really good. You can put that in the ground and it will grow. It will grow into a banana plant and produce bananas for you in the future. No problem. Okay, so which other one are we going to do? We're going to do that one. Now this one is going to be real close down there to that big one, but I'm going to drive the spade in there right at that junction, and it should sever it away. That's the banana plant I'm cutting right there, the actual corm. These are all just roots that I'm pulling now. Oh, this has got a lot of roots. That would be an awesome plant for somebody. Now I'll show you in here. See, this is where I cut it out from. And that white spot right there, that's the thing that was attached to the mother plant that's underneath the ground here. I cut that off. This becomes an autonomous banana plant. Genetically identical, but completely separate. Now, you know what I'll do is I'll kind of move the mulch in a little bit, make sure she's fed and watered. I have a banana special fertilizer that I use, high potassium fertilizer, because bananas need a lot of potassium. And so yeah, we'll have bananas there, we'll have bananas here, probably 6 months. It takes about 6 months for after the flower comes out, when it's like that, before those bananas are ripe enough to eat. Okay, so let's move on to the second thing we do to maintain our banana plant. So this is the second tool that I use pretty much exclusively for bananas. I don't use this for anything else. I will use that shovel for digging potatoes or whatever, but it's a folding sickle style blade. Be very careful opening it. And you can see it locks in position there, and the blade is very thin and really, really sharp. And what we use this for is to take off all the brown leaves, anything dying, so that it doesn't spread disease. I mean, really, these things are just dead. These leaves that I'm taking off are just dead or dying. You can see this one right here. It's all yellow and black. It's full of sigatoka. It's a fungal infection that takes out banana leaves. And so we're going to probably take it off too. So I'll just go and trim these guys. Okay, so I think that's all I'm gonna do. I hope you guys got most of that. I couldn't really move the camera around. There are other leaves, like this one right here, that's in pretty bad shape. But this plant, or this pseudostem, has bananas on it. So I try to leave as much of the green plants, green leaves on the pseudostem that have bananas on them on as long as possible. You know, these shorter keiki, they are going to contribute to the nutrients, the energy for the bananas for a while. But after you get bananas, you're no longer going to get leaves. So the bananas need leaves to get energy to fill out. Okay, so those are the two things you want to do. Trim the brown and dead leaves, trim the little keikis, and your bananas will be big and juicy when they get ripe. So let's talk a little bit about the keikis. I said plant these guys and get banana plants, and that's true. And that's true for just about anything that you pull off of here, as long as it's got roots. But let's look at another plant. This is a little keiki that I planted, but it's not like those others. You can see by looking at it that the leaves are wide. They look like banana leaves. They're wide and not as long. They're much wider than they are long. This is what you call a water sucker. The other ones, we'll show those again, they're called sword suckers. So if you want to produce bananas from a keiki, take the keikis that have the sword-shaped leaves on them. These are called sword suckers. And as long as they have good root systems like these guys, you can put these in the ground and they will produce bananas more quickly and more reliably than if you used a water sucker to do it. The water suckers have the big wide leaves on them. Okay, well, that's pretty much it for trimming. Oh, I missed a couple of leaves. I get them next time. That's pretty much for trimming your bananas and pulling the keikis. You know, you can't really keep up with them perfectly. It's not like you have to do it every week. I think I do this once a month, maybe once every 2 months, to just try to keep up with the keikis. Because once they get big, they're hard to get out. They're hard to get separated. You might wonder, you know, how old these banana patches are. The one over here with the monster banana on there, that guy, I think that's about 5 years old. We bought 3 dwarf apple bananas from Planted Hawaii. We had one here that got bunchy top. We had one over there that got bunchy top right away. And then this is the original, one of the original ones. And like I said, it's about 5 years old, and you can tell it's way bigger. The pseudostems coming up out of that are way bigger than these guys. This one is probably, this little one is a year or so old. This is Uwala Hawaiian sweet potato growing around the base of it. We haven't harvested any of these. I think these are maybe 1.5 to 2 years. These were, these two pretty much got planted at the same time. This one's got bananas on it. This one's already produced. But I planted these guys as backups when that one big bunch got bunchy top. I changed how I do all of this. Wonder where I put all of those leaves and stuff. I just throw them in a pile back here. The 2 keiki with the roots are on in this pile somewhere, and they might grow. That's what this is. This is a keiki that got thrown in this pile, and it's going to grow into a banana plant as long as I keep it healthy. I'll do another video with diseases and pests, so we can talk about those. There are primarily 2 diseases and 2 pests that you need to pay attention to, and the rest of it pretty much takes care of itself with Hawaii rain and good fertilizer. I'll try to find a link for the fertilizer. Oh, this one's got a bunch on it too. So it's not like we're eating bananas every day. Well, when we get a bunch that ripens, we eat bananas every single day. 6 to 8 bananas every single day, because they ripen all at the same time. So, but it's not like we have a continuous supply of bananas. We'll have bananas for a couple of weeks, and then we'll be a couple of months, and then we'll have bananas for a couple of weeks again. But that's how we do bananas. These are all backups. That one back over there on the line is a backup. I haven't trimmed it yet. But yeah, so there you go. Bananas on Kilipohe. Look out for part 2, diseases and pests. Aloha.